Let's try to compare different stock indices prices by getting it from YahooFinancer, normalizing it, and then plotting it out. We'll be using these libraries, YahooFinancer, ggplot2, and dplyr. And the first thing is to get a stock exchange index. For example, I'm using NSEI, Nifty 50. So when I run it, it gets the environment, but we haven't got the data yet. So the next step is to get the data. And we'll create a data frame called DF Nifty 50. So we will get the history. We will give the start date and the interval. We want the daily data. So we have 119 observations for Nifty 50. Let's plot it. So I'm using line range to plot the low price and the high price. And then I'm using the jump point to plot the close price and then put a dot, a red color dot there. So let's see how it looks like. So this is how the chart looks like. By the way, you can use similar approach to get the stock price of any stock. For example, in this example, I'm using the AAPL, which is Apple Inc. So I'm getting the data for Apple company, and then we can plot it also using the same plot which we used before. And here is another plot, which is just a simple line chart with jump point on top. And now let's try to get the stock indices for multiple indexes. So how do we do that? So we'll create a list of all the stock exchanges which we want to use, for example, Nifty 50, ASX, FTSE, and Dow Jones. And then I'm going to create another function which will actually go and fetch the data. So I'm giving a start date and I want the daily data. And now we'll populate a list object which will get the data from each of these stock indices. So we got a list of 4 different objects. And now we can use the bind rows to combine all this list object into a data frame so that we have all the stock indices prices in a nice data frame, which we can use to plot it using the ggplot. So let's plot this data now using a similar plot which we used before. So we have all the 4 stock exchange prices being shown there. Now there's a problem because their ranges are different, 40,000, 20,000, 10,000. How do we bring them to a common scale and then see them? So we can normalize this data. So I'm using a very simple approach to normalize this data. I'm going to use the first day price as the base, and then I'm dividing the close price by the first close price, and we'll get normalized price. And you would see what I mean by the normalized price. You would see that on the day 1 the price is 1, the normalized price is 1, and then it goes up and down slightly. So now we have all the different stock indices on a common scale. So let's see how it looks like in a plot. So when I plot it up, you would see what I am trying to say here. You would have all the 4 indices on the same scale, and now you can very clearly see how they are actually behaving with respect to each other, and is there a correlation between their prices. So I hope you found this information useful and practical. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.